Let's talk about open houses, or what we at Thrive often call the level 10 open house, and all that goes into an open house. So, we're going to start by talking a little bit about preparation. How do you prep for a level 10 open house? What do you do on the front end before you actually hold the event? What do you do while you're there? How do you capitalize on the effort and time you're spending conducting these open houses to drive the best chance at good results? Some unique approaches to it. And then there's a video from our own Nathan Dick that talks about a way to do lead capture using Sierra. If you wanted to do some, have a tablet, because we'll talk about sign in sheets and options for that too. So the first part is preparation. Preparation's key.
Yes.
Honestly, it's something you think an open house is just put it in the MLS, throw a sign in the yard and show up.
Yep.
But you're shortchanging yourself if you do that. What does your prep look like for an open house?
Definitely go off the list. I think it's also Nathan's list for like kind of things to gather.
Yep.
And like obviously, making sure that this preparation is like probably the day before, if not earlier. Like there's nothing worse than like having to get up super early to try and prep for this like the day of.
Right.
So definitely having that list, right? Having your things in case of emergency, toilet paper, having candle, your snacks, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be the same thing every time. I'm having that list. I always make a map for my signs. That just helps me,
Love that.
kind of figure out where I'm going to put those signs instead of just like figuring out when I get there.
Oh, yep. Google Maps, whatever map you want to use, find the way that you think people are going to naturally drive into it and sign it accordingly. And also go a little bit further than you probably think you should to get high traffic intersections, and balloons are always a topic of preparation. I know they're annoying, but if you're at a busy corner, I remember doing one early on in my career at Thrive. I did one for another agent, and it was right at Zunai and Spear. And there was like all the corners were covered with open house signs. And I put balloons on mine, and I guarantee that drew more eyes.
Yeah.
Because it's just something. So yes, it takes a little more effort, but your sign will get more looks.
Yeah. And that brings another piece of preparation too, is that if it's not your listing, your preparation there with the listing agent, finding out the age of things, any information that's not in the MLS, things that you can share with people that do come in. That's a big piece of preparation too.
Yeah. And comps, but do a CMA, a quick CMA at the very least, to find out what the values are like for that neighborhood, what other homes have sold, are on market, how long things are taking.
Yeah.
You just want to be that source of knowledge as the neighborhood expert, because you're there as a neighborhood expert.
Yep. List reports are great for open houses too.
Absolutely. List reports, info sparks as well for stat comparisons. If you need that, you could have it pulled up. If you have somebody who's kind of nerding out on stats, like show them InfoSparks, especially as dialogue presents itself from a potential lead. They might be looking at a couple areas, and you could, show them a couple cool graphics of days on market, price point in the two areas they're shopping in. And it's pretty user friendly. Door knocking.
Yep.
Right? Do you ever do that before an open house?
Yeah. I've, especially on my own listings, I've done door knocking a lot. You can definitely do it if it's not your own listing, but more importantly, when it is, it's kind of just along the lines of like, hey, we got, this one down the street for sale. We're hosting an open house this weekend. You can offer the pre-neighborhood, neighbors only party.
Yep.
And kind of just like, to me, it's all a numbers game, right? You never know who's going to show up and who needs to buy a house or who has a friend that needs to buy a house. So just getting more eyes on it and kind of just, creating more relationships there with neighbors, maybe.
Yeah. And especially if it's your listing and you can say, yeah, I'm selling your, Joe and Sally's house down the street. Curious what you guys love about living in the neighborhood. I want to be able to sell it well to buyers. What's your favorite part about living here? How long have you just start making relationships there? And then you could even tease like a reason to stop back by and say, would it be interesting to you? I always offer this. Some people want it, some don't. No pressure. But I'd be happy to stop back by and let you know kind of how things went.
Yeah.
How many showings, offers, where we landed on price. And you may get the opportunity to then be the expert on a follow-up to those neighbors. And you get the looky-loos out of the way sometimes if you do that neighborhood only open house on the front end of a public open house.
Yeah. And I think you've used this phrasing before too, is along the lines of like, hey, there's going to be a little more traffic. I just wanted to let you guys know this is why, and you guys are welcome to stop. So it's kind of like, just letting you know, this is why I'm knocking on your door. Like also, feel free to come by. So it's not like you're knocking on somebody's door to sell them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I apologize in advance. There might be a few more cars on the street Saturday. It's we're doing an open house. Spread the word. If you're anything like me, you want your friends to live close to you. So feel
Yep.
free to have anybody stop by. I'd love to chat with them. Yeah. And then prepping just the other, like, you mentioned the list, and you'll be able to link the presentation. The slides will be linked here beneath these videos. And that will have a couple different examples of 2 different advisors' prep list, and you'll see they're pretty extensive. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a candle sometimes, a Bluetooth speaker, the Wi-Fi connection or a hotspot, whichever you're going to use,
Scissors.
scissors, a trash bag,
Yep.
toilet paper, paper towels, your snacks you're going to provide, food and drinks. What do you want to do?
And the best way that you can go about that too is just hit Sam's Club or Costco and buy a crap ton of stuff and kind of just have, if you have room in your garage or your house or whatever, just have a open house bucket.
Yep.
This is what I bring to
Big-
every open house.
Big Tupperware. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that's a little bit about preparation. Know the property, know the neighborhood, door knock. I'm telling you, at least do the 5 houses across the street and the 2 neighbors immediately next to. Yeah, maximize the effort you're putting in by putting a little more work on the preparation front.